Welcome back, and now we're going to turn the page to college hoops as it's March Madness, but it's really started in full effect as the Bowie State Bulldogs captured the championship of the CIAA Men's Championship for the first time in 10 years, and the Washington Wizards are still trying to battle in the second half with the return of John Wall. And here with us to weigh in with their thoughts are Nikki Lewis of NikkiLewisSportsChannel.com and Lexter Taylor of SportsOne Television and Sirius Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Roundball Report.
Thank you. Andrew.
And Lexter, we'll start with you, buddy. You were down there as a proud Bowie State alum. Did your bias reign through while you were calling those games on Sirius Radio, or were you just excited to a high-quality brand of basketball?
Andrew, HSRN decided to not let me broadcast the last game. I wasn't happy about that. I did the women's championship game, but I didn't do the men's Bowie State Livingstone. They felt like I may have wanted to enjoy, the game, as an alumnus, and it was an outstanding tournament. And for Bowie State, congratulations to Bowie State, congratulations to Coach Darrell Brooks, phenomenal, great season. But Bowie State surprised the entire CIAA conference. They were up and down pretty much the entire season. They go into the tournament riding a 3-game winning streak, and they kind of got a break in the first game because surprised Shaw, knocked them off, and Bowie State got Shawan in the first game, so they was able to, I guess, get rid of some of the jitters. For the last few years, Bowie State's had trouble in the first couple of rounds, and they were able to knock them off. And then they had to take on the defending champions, Winston-Salem State. Was the number 1 seed. Before that, they had to take on Lincoln. Lincoln was the number 1 seed in the North Division. Then they had to take on Winston-Salem State, and they had to play Livingstone College in the championship game, so who was also the number 1 seed in the South. So Bowie actually had a very tough road in the CIAA tournament, and they did a great job. I mean, they really came together. Byron Westmoreland, I know you know a lot about him, had a phenomenal championship game, probably one of the best championship games, I think, in the CIAA's history. So it's a lot to talk about, man, for Bowie State right now.
And, Nikki, you chronicled the team throughout the year.
Yes.
It's got to be a pleasant surprise for you to see them pull it together at the most important time of the year.
Yes, because they were 16-13, so they were not the team that was supposed to come out with that big win. But, I think West did a great job. Westmoreland did a great job. He had 38 points.
Wow.
Yes, he was shooting the ball well, as he was doing what he does, and I watched him play all season. I think he's a great player. So it was nice to see him step up and make sure that his team took it home.
And that's why they call it March Madness, because you have teams that can ride that wave. And as we bring, so that'll send Bowie State on to vie for the Division II National Championship. But bringing it up to Division I level, we have another team with a player that's riding a wave behind a player that's just rocking. His stock is just rising night in and night out, and that's Otto Porter and the Georgetown Warriors. They've won 11 in a row. And Otto is just quietly emerging as not only the Big East Player of the Year, but quickly becoming a high candidate for National Player of the Year.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, Andrew, and it's interesting because a lot of people, they've kind of forgotten about Georgetown. But Georgetown right now, I think the last rankings came out. I think they were number 8. Or number 7 or number 8 in the nation.
They're number 5 today.
Number 5. So I mean they're climbing.
And they're projected as a number 1 seed.
That's what I was
Joe Lenardi.
That's what I was going to say. So I mean, it's very possible that Georgetown could either be a 1 or a 2 in the East. And you still got Duke out there, and Duke will probably get the number 1 seed unless they lose in the tournament.
And they got Kelly back, so I think they're viewing that he had 36 in his first game back when they beat Miami.
Yes, he had a great game.
And then you also have Miami out there also. So yeah, it's great to see JT3 and his team really playing at a high level, and it would be great for this area to have Georgetown in the Final Four. That would be wonderful.
And the interesting thing, Nikki, out of adversity came great things, because they lost Winnington, the 6'9" sophomore, who they were actually playing at the 3. They were starting basically 4 6'8" guys, 6'8", 6'9" guys, along with Markel Starks. They got off to a decent pre-conference start, but lost 2 out of the 3 of their first conference games. Then Winnington went down with academics. And then that forced him to move Otto Porter to the 3. It gave more playing time to the freshman Smith Rivera, and chemistry, and it's allowed Otto to just touch the ball more often, and it's just been a perfect fit, addition by subtraction, if you will.
Yes, they found what they needed to win. Is how I look at it.
Right.
Everybody stepped up and started playing a role. Everyone has a role on the team, and it's good to see when things happen and certain players can't play, how other players step in and they fill those shoes and they play the role that they need to play on the team. And I think that's why Georgetown is coming out the way they are.
Right, and the thing that's so interesting about Porter is he's not only making the press believers, but the coaches. I mean, they're sitting at the scene because when Jim Boeheim said that he just hadn't seen a performance like that, and this is a guy that's coached numerous NBA stars, none other than Carmelo Anthony, who basically was a guy who led a team to a championship rise. And the Rutgers coach was saying that the guy's just playing off the charts right now.
Yeah, historically, Georgetown, they don't have like a dominant score. I mean, you recall they had Allen Iverson. You know, he was a dominant scorer.
Right.
You know, Reggie Williams, you could probably say the team that he was the senior on, he was the dominant scorer of that team.
That's what I was going to say. This analogy, Reggie and the Miracles. I mean, you may not remember that, Nikki.
No,
but when Reggie Williams was playing there, this was after Patrick Ewing and the other guys had graduated. He was the lone star from the national championship team there, and they rode it all the way to the Elite. They went to the Big East regular season like this and made it to the Elite Eight, and they called them Reggie and the Miracles. So I guess these are Otto and the Miracles.
Yeah, and you know, you had Allen Iverson, that squad he had, where he pretty much just carried everybody on his back and just took over. By the way, I did see Bubba Chuck at the CIAA Tounrament.
I heard that.
And I'm mad at Bubba Chuck because I asked Bubba Chuck for a picture. He's like, no. So, Allen Iverson, I'm giving you your little 5 minutes or 30 seconds. I'm disappointed. So.
All right, as we turn the page up to the professional level, the Washington Wizards have been playing well when they're healthy. I mean, they had won 7 out of 10. Then they went down and they lost to Detroit, and they almost came back and beat Detroit, and they also lost to the Knicks. But then they came back over the weekend and were able to hold off Philadelphia. But now they've suffered potentially another injury with Bradley Beal. But they're saying it's a sprained ankle and calling him day to day. But is it really day to day, or is it one of those Tony Parker sprained ankles where he could be out a month?
Well, I know one thing, they can't afford to have him out more than 2 weeks because, you know, they built a deficit for themselves this year when John Wall was out for pretty much most of the first half of the season. And it's been really tough for them trying to climb back. I really thought the Wizards were, at the start of the season, were going to be a playoff caliber team. But as I said, John Wall came back later than I think they even anticipated. Right. Since he's been back, they've been rolling. And it's unfortunate that they probably won't win enough games to make it because, you know, everyone thought the Boston Celtics were going to just fall off the earth when Rondo went down. It didn't happen. You know, Boston just kept winning. So I think, you know, for the Wizards' chances this year, it's going to be tough. And to be honest with you, if they're not going to really make a serious run for the playoffs, they probably should just let Beal just be on the shelf this year.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I agree. I mean, they're just when they're getting to the point where you're excited about them winning, then we have the ankle strain with Bradley Beal. He is a big contributor to the team. And, you know, like I said, everyone's excited, like, okay, we can make a run, and now we got Beal, we got Wall back, and now we lost Beal. So I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but I wouldn't rush Bradley Beal back. If he can't come back, I wouldn't rush him back.
But you know what I'm really excited to see is not just the emergence of Bradley Beal, who I have to admit I had no idea he had that type of athleticism. I thought he was just a spot-up shooter. But this guy is an incredible athlete.
Yes.
He's got the work ethic. He's got the intellect to want to be better. And it's just really, if he had more of the selfish mentality, I think he could be a big-time scorer. He's getting more comfortable with that day in and day out. But I think they continue to try to win. Hopefully the lottery falls, and you know who I think we say don't have I think that Otto Porter would be a good fit in the three spot for them.
Yeah, he would be, and if he comes out this year, he's a
sophomore, but he's projected. I mean, they say this is going to be one of the most down years. Yeah. It's a trickle down effect. We've had so many guys leave early that the caliber of players that are left to come out this year is not what it's been. So it may make sense for him to come out. I mean, the Hoya fans won't want to see it, but if he's projected to be in the top 5, it's really hard to make a case for him to stay unless he just really is determined that he wants to finish his education.
If he does come out, he's not going to be playing for the Lakers because the Lakers are going to be in the playoffs. So they're not not going to be a lot of routine.
I was getting ready to transition.
I was just letting you know.
It's interesting, Nikki, because early on in the year, he put as a caveat, I'll come on as long as we don't talk about the Lakers. But now, but we talk about addition by subtraction. But I mean, but really losing it takes the death of the owner for them to put petty little small things aside and decide to realize what the Laker way is and come together.
Yes.
They were actually winning, before he passed away. Rest in peace.
But they've actually beat some teams with winning records since he's passed away.
That's true.
I mean, they are playing team basketball now. They're doing. I mean, even Dwight Howard is playing. So yes.
I mean, I think the difference though, they were trying to make Kobe Bryant into this distributor, and I think what Kobe told them is like, okay, I'm gonna distribute, but I don't think we're gonna win the caliber games that we need to win with me just being a distributor. So I think what Kobe has decided to do is kind of be like a LeBron, where he's still going to score
when he needs to score,
30 points.
When he needs to, when he can distribute, he will.
He's capable of giving you six rebounds and 8 assists, but he still can shoot 20 times and give you 30-something points. So
if you recall, Nikki, when the reporters were buying in, Kobe had a couple games of double-digit assists.
Yes.
And LeBron was the one who said, "Yeah, y'all can buy into that. Kobe's a scorer. He's just that is what he is.
You can't stop a scorer. I mean, and I think he did a great job with trying to share the ball, but he likes to shoot the ball. I mean, so let him play his game of basketball. And I think he really, with the 14 assist a game, he was just trying to prove, okay, I get everybody involved. We're still not winning. I need to shoot the ball. So now that he's gone back to shooting the ball, and now Dwight has decided he wants to play basketball, they're looking like a team now.
And Kobe's he's always followed in Michael Jordan. Now he's looking for feigned motivational things. I mean, he had legitimate motivation in the loss of Jerry Buss, but then we had Mark Cuban come out with the Lakers are going to amnesty him, and Kobe came out and had an incredible game and tweeted afterwards, say amnesty this. So he's still looking for motivation to show that he's on top.
Well, the motivation, some of the motivation came when Michael kind of selected LeBron over Kobe in that little story that he did a couple weeks ago. He did mention that 5 was greater than 1, but he was saying, LeBron was a better overall player. And everybody keeps saying that this LeBron is better than Kobe. This argument, it's really curious for me.
It's kind of hard to compare now, 28 versus 34.
Right.
I mean, LeBron is in his prime. Kobe's on the tail end of his, because not only is he 34, he came straight out of high school. Well, they both came straight out of high school, so he's got a lot of miles on those tires.
He has more miles than LeBron because if you recall, when Kobe came in as a rookie, the Lakers made it to the Western Conference Finals, and so he's had extended seasons like pretty much the entire 17 years, with the exception of 1 year when Shaq decided to go play at South Beach and be with D. Wade. Kobe has been, deep in the playoffs. So, he has a lot of miles, and I don't know why they keep trying to compare the two.
When I have 2 television people on, the time just flies by. So tell folks where they can catch your sports channel, Nikki.
On NikkiLewisSportsChannel.com.
And Lexter, they can catch you on Sirius.
They can catch me doing HSRN next week, the MEAC tournament. Sirius XM should be channel 123.
All right, ladies and gents, great job. Definitely have you back.